And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, a gentleman who has been gallivanting all around Illinois and Michigan this week, autographing copies of his bestseller, Good for a Laugh, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
You might be interested to know that there's a plaque at the table in the Colony Club in Kalamazoo where you sat at dinner. On my left, fresh and glowing from the Cerebral Palsy Marathon, where she helped raise $250,000 for a very, very worthy cause, is Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you, Bennett, and thank all you contributors. And on my left, a gentleman who has just returned from Cincinnati, where he was up all night doing the same telethon for cerebral palsy and helped raise over $100,000, Hal Block.
Well, thank you very much. Just call me Sleepy. And on my left, well, a fellow I'd like to say is one of my greatest friends. I'd like to say it. My favorite news commentator, John Daly.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stop It. Once again tonight, some very nice people have been good enough to come and visit us and bring with them some varied and, we hope, unexpected occupations. All of these occupations meant to baffle my friends on the panel here and get some prizes for our guests. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later in the program, but right now it's time for our experts to meet the first challenger whose job they've got to spot. So would you sign in, please, sir? Percy Lowry. Is that right, sir? Would you tell us, first of all, where you come from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Well, we've got a small trip for you to take. Our friends on the panel would like to know you a bit better, so would you walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
May I see your hands?
All right, Mr. Lowry, will you take
near Cincinnati, isn't it?
110 miles.
110
Did you
miles.
see Warren Hull and Constance Bennett last night?
No, I did not.
All right, Mr. Lowry, will you come over here and sit down next to me, please? And on the basis of your handwriting and the quick look that our friends in the panel have had at you, at this point, we always give them one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin those free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a composer.
A composer, Mr. Cerf.
I think he's a traffic manager on the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Miss Francis.
I think he raises reindeers for Santa Claus.
Mr. Block.
I think he manufactures greeting cards for TAP to send to Eisenhower.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Percy Lowry, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel has got to dig. Mr. Lowry? Every time you can give our friends in the panel one fat no answer, it costs them $5. We'll keep the record of all this up here. 10 no's, and you will have won the game. The usual last bit of help. Mr. Lowry is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Lowry, do you, deal in services?
Yes.
Does your work involve both men and women?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
Yes.
Is there a product involved in what you do?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Block.
Do you deal with men and women?
Yes.
Do they come to you?
Well, we'll have to have a small conference. We would not like to mislead you. It is true that Mr. Lowry himself, on occasion, has to do a little bit of traveling, but in the last analysis, those who get his services usually make an appearance before him.
I see. Do you have to have some certain skill in your work?
Yes.
Do you have to have a certain amount of, shall we say, training?
Yes.
When you do your work, you make people happier in what you do.
Sometimes.
That's the most honest answer I've heard in a long time.
You mean
Sometimes.
there are times when people hate you?
Yes.
Well, now that I've gotten everything settled, I don't even know where I am. I think I'll pass to Dorothy.
All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Does speaking have anything to do with your profession? Do you talk to the people that you deal with?
Yes.
I mean, more than ordinarily saying hello. Do you ever speak to more than, say, 3 or 4 people at a time?
Yes.
Could this group of people, are they usually indoors when you speak to them?
Yes.
Would you ever describe them as either an audience or a congregation?
No.
That would be 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Lowry, are these people that you talk to ever in custody of any kind?
Yes.
Would you, by any chance, be connected with the Ohio or some penal institution of some kind?
Yes.
Are you a prison authority? In some way connected with a prison?
You mean with the operation of a prison?
No, I mean have something to do. Do you perform your services on some time within the walls of a penitentiary?
Perform your services at some time within the walls of a penitentiary. Small conference.
I didn't mean because you were being kept there.
Yes.
Does it have anything whatever to do with the minds of the people that come in contact with you? Would you say you improve the minds of any prisoners that might confer with you?
To the degree of adjudging them to be...
Well, being either a librarian or a psychiatrist or somebody who gives advice within the walls of a penal institution?
I think within that context we'd say 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
You are connected with the penal institutions, but you are not always performing your services in the institutions. Is that what you said? Or you do perform your service in the institution?
Not all.
Not always. Some
Not
of
always.
them, yes.
Is your work advisory in any way?
No.
Disciplinary? No.
Well, we'll have a small conference.
He sounds like a traveling warden.
No advice. Terribly sorry. 4 down, 6 to go, Mr. Block.
Do you have anything to do with improving the health?
Improving
of
the health.
inmates?
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do people who have been in a penal institution ever have occasion to come to you after they are released?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Have you anything to do with the inspirational side of life, Mr. Lowry, with the word of the Lord in any way, shape, or manner?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it possible that you might have anything to do with them being released from the prison?
Yes.
You could, do you work on a board
Yes.
that decides whether the behavior of a man is such that he may be allowed out of a prison before his term is up?
Yes.
What do they call that?
Parole board.
Parole board.
On parole.
He got his own
Mr.
panel.
Lowry is a member of a parole board, but he has a position specifically on a board. Now, what is it? It's a very quick...
Well, he's dignified to be the head man.
The head man, I think we would have to... The chairman of the Ohio State Parole Board. That's right. Miss Dorothy?
John, don't prisoners sometimes have to report back to a parole board to prove that they've been good boys
They
later?
report to a probation officer appointed by state authorities, but they don't go back to the parole board. I've been all through this, you know. What am I saying? Well,
Would you call that a panel that you're on?
No. Board.
I
Committee.
figure it's what's my crime.
you can't do that. Not here. Well, now, Mr. Lowry, you've done very well with the prizes. More than that, you have been kind enough to give us a lot of fun by visiting us, and
Thank
thanks
you.
very much for being our guest in What's My Line. Nice to see you. Good night, sir. All right. right, panel, let's see if we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, sir? Frank? Frank Hazard? How are you? Would you tell us, first of all, where you're from?
Wilmington, Ohio.
Wilmington, Ohio. Well, we've got two from Ohio tonight, so you can take the same journey, if you will. You walk down in front of the panel. They'd like to get a closer look at you.
We shake hands with him, may I?
All right, Mr. Hazard, will you come over here and shake hands with me again now, please? Sit right down next to me, and on the basis of your handwriting and the quick trip and the handshake that you and Mr. Cerf have had, we give them at this time a free guess, which we always begin with Miss Kilgallen.
Oh, I think he's the president of a big loan company.
Mr. Cerf.
I think Mr. Hazard reeks of big business. He's the president of some board of directors of a big corporation.
Miss Francis.
I think he's a professor of philosophy or some such.
Mr. Block.
I think he poses for the most distinguished man ad.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. Viewers at home get a further look at Mr. Hazard. At the same time, we tell them what his line is. But, the panel's up to work. Mr. Hazard, I think you know the rules. Every time you get a no answer from the panel, we rack it up here. 10 no's, $50. You have won the game. Mr. Hazard is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
Do you deal in a product?
Yes.
Is it small enough for me to have in my pocket?
Yes.
Well, might you ever have this in your home?
Yes.
Well, if I had it, could I have it in more than one room of my home?
Yes.
If you had a cocktail party, would the guests really notice?
Will you give us that question again, Mr. Block?
Well, I said if you had a cocktail party, would the guests sort of be well aware that this was in evidence?
Well, I think it's only fair to say that if it was in evidence, they'd be well aware it was in evidence.
Well, would some of the guests say that they never touched the stuff?
You mean the product or the stuff?
The product.
Oh, the product.
Yes.
Well, at a surprise party, would some of the guests bring their own?
No. I don't think so. 1,009 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Hazard, you don't look as though you could be connected with anything undesirable, but is there anything that might, under certain circumstances, be undesirable about this product if it were in the home?
Yes.
In other words, this is something that is to be gotten rid of if you've got it?
Yes.
And is what you do getting rid of it?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Hazard, just to satisfy my own curiosity, do you deal in some kind of a synthetic product, something that's manufactured, a rather modern
No.
invention?
That's rather modern. Nothing modern about this. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
To follow what Dorothy was talking about, is this by any chance alive?
Yes.
But you wouldn't want to get rid of it, or you would? You would want to get rid of it.
The question was, would you have something to do with getting rid of it, and was no.
But is no.
That's right.
You have nothing to do with getting rid of this live thing that you could hold in your pocket. Is that correct?
Yes, you have nothing to do with getting rid of this live thing which you would hold in your pocket.
Well, do you, if you don't get rid of it, do you do any kind of experimenting with this product?
Sometimes.
Do you, have a place where you might grow this product?
Yes.
Is it a small animal?
Yes.
Anyone we know?
Is it a small, would you say it was in the rodent family?
No.
No rodent. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Block.
It's smaller than a rodent. Is it something like a mosquito or something like that?
Well, you want to ask, is it a mosquito?
Not is it, but I mean in that kind of family, like,
It's a nice family.
yeah. It's like pests or something, insects.
Yes.
You don't get rid of them. Do you ever supply them?
Yes.
Why would you? What do you do it for? To scare children?
He said he experiments.
Oh, you experiment. Does it have anything to do with health?
Yes.
Or do you experiment on these, if you'll pardon the expression, animals, in order to improve the health, perhaps, of people?
Yes. Actually, you're going all around the green. You're very
Can we
close.
have a conference?
You're going to have 20 seconds for a
Ask him
conference.
if he
Maybe, maybe he
supplies
supplies
Maybe
them
he raises,
to other people.
What?
Excuse me. He
Amoebas
suppli-
or germs or
Perhaps he supplies them to other people who do experimenting.
Fly.
Well, do you raise amoebas or flies or things like that?
I guess we'll have to say...
I raise flies, not amoebas.
Not amoeba. I think on the basis of the flies, we will have to agree, if you go with me, Mr. Hazard, they have sort of pinned us down. Mr. Hazard raises bugs. Among them flies. What are some of the others?
Bed bugs, cockroaches.
You mean you raise the bed bugs voluntarily?
Actually, I think this
How
needs-
long have you been at large?
This needs an explanation. Mr. Hazard actually raises this because they experiment with insecticides on them to test the toxic effect of them, and you see that sort of thing.
Well, now we understand, of
It's a
course.
lot of fun, yes, I'm sure. Well, Mr. Hazard, you did only fairly well with the prizes, but we hope you had an interesting time and had fun, because it was nice to have you with us. And What's My Line? Thanks a lot for coming. And now, in just one moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll introduce our mystery guest. Now we come to the special feature of our show, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends in the panel would recognize him immediately, or her immediately on sight, depending on whether it's male or female. And so we always provide them with blindfolds. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in then, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? And now, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we always get right down to the general questioning, which in this case we will begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you accustomed to appearing before the public?
Yes. Well,
Are you in show business in any form?
Yet. That's one down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Or was that a no?
Yes. The question
Sounded like
was
a yap.
specifically, are you in show business in any form? And it was niet.
Yet. Are you in public life of any kind?
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
You're not in public life, and all those people knew you.
Well,
Are
we
you-
take public life here to mean government service or philanthropic service or something like that, I believe,
Well,
right?
do a lot of people see you in whatever your job is?
I hope so.
Must be a flagpole sitter. Are you ever seen in any of the entertainment mediums? Yeah. Would you be considered a writer, perhaps?
Difference of opinion. There's a difference of opinion, I guess, says, but he would be considered as a writer, yes, in part.
find out if he's been well.
You would be considered a writer, but that would not be the thing that you are primarily known as? Boy, what a sentence. I don't blame
Yeah,
you
that
for
was a
waiting
pip.
around.
Actually, you got me in trouble. I would say that our guest is known as a writer, but that he
Also
would-
known as something else.
That's right, yes.
I'll pass to Hal.
All right, Mr. Block.
Do you have anything to do with the literary or newspaper world?
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is the other thing that you're known for something that you do before large crowds of people?
You mean directly to large audiences? Is that what you're getting at, Miss Kilgallen?
Well, I don't care if it's directly or indirectly. I was just trying to get some kind of a clue. I mean, is he accustomed to appearing before audiences, either on television or in a sports arena or anyplace else?
Well, I would say, yeah, our guest is accustomed to appearing before audiences, yes.
Do these audiences come to hear what he has to say rather than see something that he has to do?
Well, to the degree that they come to hear what he has to say rather than to see what he has to do, I would think.
When you are appearing before these people who have come to hear what you say, do you wear something besides ordinary street clothes?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Now, I understand this is a writer who has nothing to do with show business, nothing to do with the literary world, and nothing to do with journalism. Is that correct?
The question was raised as to the issue of newspapers.
Well, that does not eliminate magazines. Have you anything to do with the magazine world?
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
What does he write for?
Maybe he's unemployed.
You said that you did appear before audiences. There seemed to be some doubt when Dorothy said something about television. Are the audiences that you appear for are you on the screen when you appear before audiences? Are you on television?
Yes.
And you're not entertaining? Would you be considered entertaining? Would people listen to what you have to say? Oh, do you have anything to do with commentating?
Yes.
Just change character. Would you be considered, therefore, a commentator on the television?
Yes.
Now then, that
Maybe
voice,
it's John
how are we
Daly.
going to know? Will you be the kind of a commentator that might cover a political campaign?
Yes.
Were you seen at all during the elections?
Yes.
Was that the same fella?
Same fellow.
Well, let's see.
Same fellow, natural voice.
Who? Huh?
Same fellow, natural voice.
Well, the gentleman on my right, Mr. Bennett, Cerf, just wonders if you are the same fellow that wrote, or rather recorded an album at one time of important historical events in history. A man that does a program now on Sundays, probably the most adult program seen on television, of wide interest all over. Are you Ed Murrow?
Ed Murrow, is right. Actually, we're very happy to have Ed here as a guest. But also, this is December 7th, and I know there's something very close to his heart. So we have a check made out to the Overseas Press Club Memorial Building Fund, Ed. I think this is a building fund and a memorial that our friends who are viewing at home would like to know something about. Will you like to share some news with them?
Well, this is a very simple matter, which isn't really an appeal for funds, but rather an opportunity for a few people to share in a project. There were some 64 American war correspondents killed in the late war and in Korea. And those of us who were either more fortunate or less courageous determined that we should try to construct here in New York a memorial to those 64 men. This, we feel, is something that they would like. It is a curious fact, you know, that New York City is the only big city you can find in the world where there is no single place where correspondents, both those who are resident here, those who come in from abroad, those who come in from Minneapolis, Chicago, and so forth, can meet, discuss their common problems. And we rather felt that perhaps there were a few people who would have some sense of appreciation for what people like Ernie Pyle, Bob Post, and others of the 64 had done for them. So we're engaged in the very simple process of raising some $300,000 in order to create this memorial for the war correspondents who didn't make it out of the last war. And I assume it will be all right, Mr. Daly, if I collect the checks from the members of the panel when I go out.
Next week at this same time, our panel of experts will be asked, "What's my line?" by this young lady. Would you know what her occupation is? Could you spot her line? For the answers to these and a good many other questions, be sure to join us again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again, Stopette invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and the time of our weekly series. Until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Bennett.
Good night, palsy, Arlene.
Good night, Hal.
Good night, John.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. In association with the CBS Television Network.